Hi Tabletop Parents, it's Jessica Senesac here. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We're going to talk to you today about those hyperactive kids that are really just tactile learners that are very kinesthetic as well, and how to teach them new words, help their language development, and also promote their literacy. So, your baby or toddler is wild. They get into everything. They are grabbing things and hitting things, and they're drumming all the time. They're bouncing, they're dancing, they're running around. They're either on or they're off. How do I get this kid who's very physical to sit still? Let's just say it. You don't. No. Actually encourage them to do what they want to do. There is no reason that you can't teach your physically active child to learn how to speak, how to enjoy reading and books and all of those great things, because there are books specifically designed for your child. Now, one of those books is Curious George's Patty Cake. You've got a very kinesthetic, tactile learner. Let's start clapping and dancing. Let's sing the songs and enjoy the book. Now, I'm not allowed to read this book to you guys, but I highly recommend it. Why? We've got a puppet. Puppets are great storytellers. They're fun, they're engaging. They make reading a game. I love games, and so do my active children. So, patty cake, bake as men. It's a song. They get to dance, they get to clap, and they learn words, and they're watching what you're doing. They're watching, they're listening, they're hearing everything that you're saying, they're seeing and making the connections between the pictures and the different lyrics, because George doesn't just do patty cake. With a cake, he doesn't just bake a cake, he goes to the post office, he plans a birthday party. There are so many things that your kids can learn from this book as far as language development goes. And then also developing a love of reading will increase their literacy later in life, because they're going to want to read books even though on a normal day they'd rather be outside playing. This book, obviously a favorite, it's been chewed up to pieces. Even though it's a board book, it's almost destroyed. Why? Because my awesome kids love this book. Why? Because the rhyme allows for a musical sound. They get to dance, they get to clap. Now, there isn't that fun puppet. You are now that puppet. I always like to mimic these monkeys. Hand, fingers, thumb, one thumb drumming on the drum. You've got to drum. Your physical kids, they like to drum too. They like to jump. And so let's all be monkeys. We're reading a book, but we don't have to sit down and be quiet. Why would we? There's so much repetition in this book that your children are gonna want to hear it over and over and over. They're gonna memorize the words, they're going to sing along, they're gonna yell out the words. That is key. That means that they've learned language. Even though some of the stuff is dum diddy dum dum dum, you hear that drum, right? In the words that you're saying. It's also kind of nonsensical, but it's that onomatopoeia. They're still making the sounds that they need to make to do other words, right? Dum diddy dum dum dum. Very difficult, but they'll want to learn it because they're having fun and they're gonna wanna sing along. They're gonna wanna copy you. In one of my past episodes, I talked about the touch and feel cards. There are touch and feel books. If your child wants to go to the zoo and you create a zoo in your house, you've got stuffed animals everywhere, right? And they are the zookeepers. Once they are done running around and playing, let's also do this book. You can do it before if your child will sit and do this. But what's going to make them want to interact with this book and sit down and enjoy the book is the fact that they get to pet and touch the animals, and it's physical. And also it becomes a game. We need to find George. Where's George? Have them point to George when he's hiding on the pages. That is extremely important. So I'm only going to show this page because I want you to see what I'm talking about. This book is a game. They get to point, they get to play with this. It's shiny, it's enticing for those kids who don't want to sit down and read a calming book. They want it to be fun, they want it to be a game, and the more that you incorporate fun, games, dancing, music with books, the more you're increasing their literacy, because that is what's going to make them want to read later on. It's going to entice them and make them want to create their own books, which is going to lead them to a desire to write it on their own, because they become so independent. They want to do it. And yes, they'll have some frustrated moments because they can't do it right away and they have to sit and practice. But this is what's going to give them that initial motivation. We've got all monkeys because I think that all of our awesome wild children are little monkeys climbing around because they're so cute and energetic, and they can relate to these characters because they're so much like them. They're getting themselves into mischief and climbing and having fun and being wild, and it's okay, and they're loved, and they're not being punished for being wild, crazy, physical, and playful. It's okay. So I have more recommendations coming out in the coming weeks for other videos. I really hope that you tune in and enjoy. And again, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing is the most important thing for me right now, because if you don't subscribe, and I don't have a lot of subscribers, then I can't keep doing what I love, which is creating these videos to help everybody out there in the situations that I've already gone through and tested out, and really done a lot of research and taken a lot of time to work with my kids, and it really shows how much I've worked with them. And I would love to share what's worked for me so that you don't have to stress about your baby and toddler's language and literacy development. Bye guys.